where the news comes first. You're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise.
Now at 6 at sunrise, here's a live look at temperatures this morning, dropping into the mid to low 30s, potentially a few frosty and foggy spots, but could be looking at plenty of sunshine throughout the day today.
Also ahead for the second time in just a couple of days, a potential hit list of student names was found on the grounds of a local middle school. We'll have the latest on the investigation. And a local company that served a national need and previously reduced its workforce to just 12 workers has now decided to shut its doors. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2026.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here this morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And the good news about all that soaking rain we've been seeing, the lawns are unbelievably green.
Yes, I've noticed that too. Of course, we enter summertime. We see the lawns get a bit more brown, but this is probably the healthiest I've seen them in quite a while. And yes, the rainfall, a good soaking rain yesterday, today, a bit drier.
Oh, good.
Let's take a look at the latest conditions outside right now. First off, here's a live view from our tower cam overlooking the city of Utica. A pretty bright scene over the city now. Quite a difference compared to yesterday's cloudy, foggy, and damp conditions to start. We look at the radar. Again, things starting out relatively dry. But we zoom out a little bit, and we are still looking at a few stray showers just passing Toronto, now over Lake Ontario, pushing toward the Buffalo area and the Rochester area. So, will we see this rainfall? Some of us, especially as you head farther south, could see a stray shower. But that's really about it. If it lasts for maybe a few minutes, then we're going to see some sunshine return. Either way, we've dropped quickly. We started out in the upper 30s, low 40s about an hour or so ago. As the clouds exited to the east, well, it's allowed radiational cooling to take place, and we're dropping down into the 30s right now. So after a chilly start today, we are climbing into the 50s with a lot more sunshine compared to yesterday. And after that, though, tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, we're tracking rain chances. We have some updates as to the location of the rain, the timing of the rain, and as well as the amount of the rain. So stay tuned for the latest trends and what you can expect for your Mother's Day weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are continuing to follow that breaking news out of Little Falls this morning. Firefighters are still on scene of a fire at a building on Route 5. It reportedly broke out around 3 this morning, and our own Nolan Hyman was on scene by 3:30. He tells us he had to stay back because that portion of Route 5 was shut down. You could see, though, the orange smoke billowing from below, as well as some embers flying up into the air. There is no word on if anyone was inside the structure at the time or if anyone was injured. There was an ambulance with flashing lights leaving the scene when Nolan arrived. National Grid was also on scene, and of course we'll update you on this story when we do learn more. Also this morning, we are staying on the story of a second potential hit list of names discovered at Otto Shortell Middle School in Oneida. One on Monday and now one yesterday. The Madison County Sheriff's Office says they were written by 2 different students. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris spoke to parents who are dealing with this, who say learning their child's name was on a potential hit list is downright terrifying.
When Janice Panic learned her daughter was on a hit list found at Otto Shortell Middle School Monday, she began with her daughter, pausing fear and launching into accountability.
Were you guys, like bullying up on her or something said, because girls are not very nice in school?
The response was puzzling.
And she's like, Mom, I don't interact with her. I don't really know her. I think I played soccer with her 3 or 4 years ago.
Very dumbfounded at first, and then obviously really nervous and scared.
Ashley Smith's daughter was also on the list.
Learning this, on the heels of what happened in Clinton, did that, heighten your concern level?
Absolutely.
These parents got the same message as other parents Monday night, then a conference call Tuesday with the middle school principal, security guard, and director of security for the district, telling them their kids were on the list. Having had some time to digest it, they have questions questions they say they have no opportunity to ask.
We don't know anything about these kids returning to school. Are they expelled? Are they coming back? Is this going to be an issue in 2 weeks from now? Again, some kind of meeting at the gym at the school, where parents are welcome to come ask questions and get answers.
The school sent communications Monday and Tuesday saying there was no credible threat and they understood the concern. Some parents went to see the superintendent today. They say they were told to make appointments for another day. We did reach out to the superintendent today and are waiting to hear back, but yesterday, when one of our reporters reached out, they responded by sending the letter that went out to parents. No credible threat, but very tangible fear.
He won't even go out the house. I asked him to go get the mail the other day, and he won't even go on the front porch. Last night, he stayed awake all night until 6 o'clock this morning because he was worried.
The Madison County Sheriff's Office said in the past hour there was a second hit list found on school property today. They say they identified the student, determined they have no access to weapons, notified their guardian, and referred it to the school district for internal review. They say there will be no criminal charges because of the child's age. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
State police have arrested a 19-year-old Otsego County man after he allegedly pointed a handgun at people and was found with these drugs and weapons. Troopers say Derek Danielson was taken into custody Tuesday after a couple reported that he had followed them and pointed a gun at their vehicle. Police later seized several firearms, large amounts of cocaine, fentanyl, ecstasy, and other drugs from his vehicle. Danielson faces multiple felony charges and was taken to the Otsego County Jail. And state police have released information about a fatal motorcycle crash in Oneonta that happened back on Sunday. They say a man from Long Island was riding on Highway 28 with a group of other bikers and was hit by an SUV that was making a turn onto 28. Now, this was Sunday afternoon. This picture released by state police. They say 57-year-old Gabriel Mizrahi of Syosset down on Long Island was brought to A.O. Fox Hospital in Oneonta and then airlifted to a trauma center, but later died. The driver of the SUV has been identified as 76-year-old Patricia Howard of Sydney. No charges have been filed, but state police say they are still investigating the accident. And this is Motorcycle Safety Month. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is raising awareness about motorcycle safety now that the bikes are hitting the roadways this spring. News Channel 2's Kirk Tupai tells us what the traveling public should be aware of.
It's the time of year when you start to see motorcycles hitting the road. Unfortunately, motorcycles are more likely to hit the pavement in a crash. At least 25% of fatal motorcycle accidents can be traced back to the operator being intoxicated.
More often than not, a huge majority of times, if you're involved in a crash on a motorcycle, you're going to be injured and possibly seriously injured.
Roughly 30% of fatal motorcycle accidents are caused by excessive speed.
When you're traveling in excessive speed, let's say on a motorcycle, that's going to give people in motor vehicles, they're going to have less reaction time to see you, to be able to react to you if you're going too fast.
Motorcycles are smaller and more difficult to see in traffic. As a cyclist, it's up to you to be more vigilant.
Assume everyone out there is trying to kill you. Assume that the people don't see you. Prepare for people to pull out in front of you.
Motorcyclists should start by having your motorcycle inspected to be sure it's fit for the road. When on the road, give yourself enough following distance. Evaluate the road conditions for loose dirt, gravel, potholes, and debris. And increase your ability to see and be seen, as distracted drivers are everywhere.
You don't have that cage around you. You don't have airbags. You don't have a seatbelt. So you have to use the things you have, like your helmet and your protective gear and your defensive driving. The best way to not be injured in an accident is a collision is not to get in a collision.
Protect yourself with proper footwear, jacket, gloves, pants, and of course, a DOT-rated helmet.
You can't be too safe when you're on a motorcycle. You're putting, your life in between two wheels. And so, I wouldn't encourage you to plan for the ride. I would encourage you to plan for the crash.
In Yorkville, I'm Kirk Tupai reporting for News Channel 2.
The time now is 6:10. Still ahead on Sunrise, details on a new major construction project involving 3 buildings at Griffiths, which has now received approval from the Rome Planning Board. Plus, a community at odds over the dismissal of a longtime coach. Their voices are heard at a school board meeting last night. Did they get answers? Those stories and more still ahead right here on News Channel 2 at Sunrise. Eric?
Heading out of the bus stop this morning, temperatures beginning in the 30s, partly sunny skies. In fact, for a lot of us, almost completely sunny skies. This afternoon, we're up into the 50s. Maybe a stray shower, but a generally dry day today. Just a little blustery. We'll be right back.
Stop in today to see our full line of Telescope furniture. Telescope casual furniture has been manufactured in New York since 1903. There are several different furniture collections to choose from to fit any backyard and budget. Select from hundreds of fabrics and slings that are all mold and mildew resistant. Telescope furniture is constructed with powder-coated aluminum and polymers that don't fade or crack. With a 15-year warranty, Telescope furniture will not only last, but also stand the test of time. Stop into Riverside Pools today to see our full line of Telescope casual furniture.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Beautiful scene in Cooperstown this morning. Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now 6:13. Here's what you can expect heading out the door this morning in your forecast in a minute. We first start out with taking a live view of downtown Utica from our Nexus Center camera. We've got almost completely clear skies now. A few hours ago, it was still pretty cloudy, so quite a difference a few hours makes. 34 the temperature, calm winds initially, so bear that in mind as you head out the door to grab that decent jacket after we head throughout the morning. We'll see those temperatures slowly climb. Yorkville Battery Live Radar, we are dry right now. A couple of showers out to the west. We'll see how they pan out, but for the time being, expect just mainly an isolated shower or two south of the Mohawk Valley. Aside from that, it's a generally dry day today. Visibility-wise, I'm looking right now off camera at our latest satellite feed coming in, and so far it looks that fog is incredibly isolated. You see, of course, some foggy spots in Camden, but that's really about it. The rest of us have got some sunny skies and potentially some patchy frost. Either way, we're going from the 30s up into the 50s this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Again, as I mentioned, that stray shower is certainly possible. There's a better shot for rain tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but better shot is relative. We might actually have some pretty decent dry conditions depending on location and timing. We'll dive into that here coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. 2 new 4-story hotels and a commercial building have all been approved for the Griffiths Business and Technology Park by the Rome Planning Board. Take a look at where this is. This is the west side of the traffic circle right there. Indus Hospitality Group received conditional approval to build a 90-room Home 2 Suites by Hilton Hotel, as well as a 100-room Wood Spring Suites Hotel and a nearly 10,000 square foot commercial building with restaurant space. The project will move to the Zoning Board of Appeals, though, because the hotels exceed the area's height limit. Well, last night, the Richfield area community came out to the Richfield School Board of Education meeting to speak out on the firing of Coach Chris Butler. Butler coached in Richfield for 40 years, 14 as the assistant coach for girls softball, and after not getting the head coaching spot for the girls softball team, he was accepted as a volunteer assistant. But he was let go from that volunteer position at the end of March, and he was let go from coaching the boys' modified baseball team on Tuesday. He was given a reason for the baseball removal that he says was trivial, but he says he was not given a reason for the softball position. The community came out to support Chris and asked the board for details on why he is no longer coaching.
I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm sorry, under the law, we cannot discuss matters which are intended, which the law says we must keep confidential.
Personnel matters, but yet.
All I wanted to do was be the assistant anyway, volunteer. So that's kind of, that, the new coach accepted it, and I just wanted to help. So the things I've done, I feel fantastic just by the support I've gotten. Colleagues come back. I know that the way I've treated the kids over the years and the way I've treated my school, that I've done nothing but the right things. No, absolutely no regrets at all in the way I've conducted myself.
And he asked for executive session to be able to speak to them privately to get an answer as to why, and they just are silent and not saying anything to anybody. And it's very upsetting. We would like to know why he's no longer coaching.
Again, during the Board of Education meeting, President Nancy Duval said that personnel matters are confidential under the law. The time right now is 6:17. Here's a live look at downtown Utica. A gorgeous sky right there, not a cloud in sight. Eric will be in next with a look at his full storm tracker 2 forecast.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:20, and on this Thursday, we're seeing a whole lot more sun than yesterday. Yesterday, a bit of a gloomy, damp, dreary day. In fact, a bit of a different story now. I want to take a live look in downtown Utica with the blue skies out there. A beautiful scene to start your day today, and temperatures starting out a bit chilly in the 30s. We're going to climb into the low to mid 50s this afternoon. Keep in mind, though, we're still roughly a little more than 10 degrees below average. Normal high this time of year, 66 degrees. Now today, the winds are certainly something to look out for. We've got wind speeds 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's a bit of a blustery day today, but besides that, it's going to be almost entirely sunny. Now, almost is a key word here, because we look in the afternoon, there could be a chance of a very, very small, brief shower rolling through the area in the early afternoon. Won't last, and following that, of course, sunshine continues to the evening, and eventually we've got clear skies early overnight with a few passing clouds and a couple stray showers Friday morning. You see here an isolated chance there. Same thing as we head into the late morning and early afternoon. So certainly not a completely dry day tomorrow. A couple scattered rain showers. Following that, you see here by 5 p.m., sunshine. Again, a couple stray showers mainly in the southern valleys. Overnight, we're going to see skies clear out, potential frost early Saturday, and then Saturday starts out dry. We're going to see rainfall approach, but notice the rainfall location. Look at that. This is the latest data that just came in the last few minutes, by the way. The data I was showing in the last half hour, this is brand new stuff here, and I'm seeing it for the first time as well. It's actually trended more to the east. So Saturday is actually looking a lot drier than we initially anticipated. So some good news along that front. We actually could see a whole lot less of any rainfall before more rain arrives heading into early Sunday morning. But again, that's not expected to last. Later in the day, Sunday, looking more on the dry side. So again, when it comes to frost chances, a couple isolated frost locations early tomorrow morning. Same thing, a bit more of a scattered chance for frost Saturday morning with those clear skies. But either way, we got frost, we've got breezy conditions as we head throughout today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So based off of that brand new data, Saturday is looking a little nicer. And with the sunshine peeking out, we could actually hit the 60-degree mark. So Mother's Day weekend's actually starting to trend a whole lot nicer than we originally thought here. With drier conditions Saturday, drier conditions on Sunday. Now, yes, our temperatures here are still not likely to get anywhere higher than the mid 60s across the next several days throughout the next week or so. But if it, at least in the upper 50s, low 60s, pretty consistent, the temperature. We're talking probably about mid to late April type temperatures. So not too bad. And certainly the sunshine is something we're not complaining about either.
Yeah, we'll take the sun when we can get it.
That's right.
Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Our social media handles are right there on your screen. And if today is your birthday on this May 7th, make it a great one. And here is the list.
Hi, I'm Frank Mastrovito, owner of Mastrovito Hyundai. We would like to thank Central New York for giving us the best customers, the best community, and the best team members here at Mastrovito. It's time to celebrate our 5-year anniversary and our Mastrovito May sales event. Make your move to Mastrovito Hyundai and into a vehicle like the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade. Mastrovito Hyundai, your local family-owned and operated dealership on Commercial Drive in Yorkville or online anytime at MastrovitoHyundai.com. Make your move to Mastrovito Hyundai.
Gas prices are up 6 cents since Tuesday. AAA says a gallon of regular now averages $4.54 a gallon nationally. Now the good news is oil prices have come down a bit. The U.S. benchmark WTI crude is below $100 a barrel, and that follows days above that price point. That's after a record high for the year on Monday. A nonprofit watchdog group called Common Sense Media is launching what it calls the Youth AI Safety Institute. It's an industry-backed research and testing lab for learning the risks kids might face when using artificial intelligence. The plan is for the institute to provide information about AI tools to families and set benchmarks for tech firms. The Food and Drug Administration announced its first authorization of fruit-flavored electronic cigarettes intended for adult smokers. This as teen vaping rates have dropped to a 10-year low. Vaping companies have long made the case that their products can help lower smoking among adults. If you are watching us on CBS Utica, the CBS Morning News is next. And if you're watching us on WKTV NBC, there's more to come locally right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise.
Why do history enthusiasts love newspapers.com? Because there's no better way to view history than through the news stories that brought the events to life as they happened. Search through millions of newspaper pages on our site for a unique perspective on history from the people who were there. Sign up for your 7-day free trial today and read all about the events that shaped our world.
This live look of downtown Utica is brought to you by Utica National Insurance.
Why do history enthusiasts love newspapers.com? Because there's no better way to view history than through the news stories that brought the events to life as they happened. Search through millions of newspaper pages on our site for a unique perspective on history from the people who were there. Sign up for your 7-day free trial today and read all about the events that shaped our world.
Good morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour after a bit of a soaker all day yesterday. A cool morning today, and Eric, you were mentioning a pretty dry day today as well.
Yeah, that's right. You can see, of course, all that sunshine over the city of Utica right now. Here's a look outside in our tower cam, and overall a pretty chilly, but again, dry scene out there today. We zoom out here on the Yorkville Battery Live radar, and so far radar scans showing us we have, again, pretty dry conditions locally. Of course, we have some rain showers out in the western portions of the state over the Lake Ontario waters, but as it pushes its way eastward, it's going to fall apart a little bit. Still, though, a stray shower not necessarily ruled out later this morning. So we look at the latest conditions outside right now: 34 in Rome, 32 Hamilton, 36 degrees in Johnstown. As we head throughout the day today, we're going to see those temperatures begin to climb from the 30s up into the 50s this afternoon with, again, mainly dry weather, lots of sunshine. Now, as we head into the next few days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's rain chances each of those days, but it all depends on 1, location, and 2, timing. And we'll see exactly that information plus the amounts and everything you need to know for that Mother's Day weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Iran says it is now reviewing a U.S. peace proposal. And even as oil prices fell and stocks soared on news of a possible deal, a new flare-up underscored the uncertainty of ending this now 2-month-old war. NBC's Alice Barr has more this morning from Washington.
A mixed picture in the Middle East as a new confrontation clashes with rising hopes for a deal with Iran. U.S. Central Command says an American fighter jet fired on and disabled an Iranian oil tanker after it ignored warnings and tried to bypass the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports.
It's like a wall of steel. Nobody goes through.
That as stocks rallied over reports in the Wall Street Journal about a one-page 14-point U.S. proposal to end the war, citing people familiar. Iranian media quoted a foreign ministry spokesperson saying a U.S. proposal is under review.
We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
New NBC News reporting reveals President Trump paused his Project Freedom effort to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz after pushback from a key U.S. ally. Two U.S. officials say Saudi Arabia suspended the U.S. military's ability to use its bases and airspace over frustrations they were caught off guard. All of that as Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Rome today, meeting with Pope Leo, amid tensions over President Trump's sharp criticism of the first American pontiff who has spoken out against the war.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and he seemed to be saying that they can.
The Pope rejects that, saying the Catholic Church has always opposed nuclear weapons.
I always believe that it's much better to enter into dialogue than to look for arms.
Secretary Rubio denied his visit is meant to smooth relations with the Vatican. While oil prices dropped on hopes of a peace deal, industry figures tell NBC News it could take a while to get energy shipping back up to speed through the Strait of Hormuz, with ship operators likely to remain cautious until they see a more stable, predictable, and sustained situation. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Today is the latest extender deadline for the New York State budget, and still no word from Albany. State Senator Joe Griffo, though, tells us he expects a vote on a 10th extender to happen later today. The budget was originally due on April 1st. Dozens of homes in Herkimer and Oneida County could be left out in the cold, so to speak, if the state reallocates a portion of the funding that the Mohawk Valley Community Action Agency gets from HEAP or the Home Energy Assistance Program. If this happens, nearly 80 homes in Herkimer and Oneida counties won't be able to get weatherization money.
We said preserve that home, save on those energy bills. That's another part of it. We're trying to cut energy costs for these homeowners and these renters also.
Community Action has been lobbying and advocating for the money to be left intact, and we'll know if they succeeded once a state budget is passed. A Utica man who had just been released from the Oneida County Jail this week is now facing new charges for allegedly breaking into an abandoned home and stealing some items. Oneida County Sheriff's officials say 35-year-old Thaw A2 left the jail Tuesday afternoon, walked along Judd Road, and entered a vacant home on Judd that is now owned by Oneida County. Sheriff's officials say he entered through a window. He's charged with burglary and petty larceny. No word on what he was in jail for in the first place. After their workforce shrank to about a dozen people recently, a Frankfort business has now decided to close its doors. JBF Stainless made stainless steel tanks for food, dairy, beverage, and cosmetic providers nationwide. In a letter to employees obtained by NEWSChannel 2, the president of the company told workers that everything in company leadership power was done to avoid this outcome, but the company lost the financial support that they needed to continue. The St. Elizabeth College of Nursing in Utica marked National Nurses Day yesterday by celebrating over 100 years of training nurses in the Mohawk Valley. The college, founded in 1904, offers an associate's degree in nursing that includes more than 600 hours of supervised clinical experience. Most clinical training takes place at Wynn Hospital, with additional rotations at Golisano Children's Hospital in Syracuse. The school also partners with SUNY Poly, and we spoke with an instructor who says the program prepares students to be ready for the profession on day one.
We've had a lot of feedback from our community constituents on how well prepared our students are for their first job in that clinical setting. And there's nothing more important than having that foundational preparation when you're seeking a job and when you are looking for employees.
There are just a few more class days until graduation for the latest class of nursing students. Commencement for this year takes place on Saturday, May 16th. The time now is 6:37, still ahead on Sunrise as we celebrate America 250. We have some tips this morning on visiting 3 of the most historic battlefields during the American Revolution. And the death of Ted Turner, a television pioneer who turned a struggling TV station into CNN. Those stories and more straight ahead, but first, here's Eric.
Heading out of the bus stop this morning, temperatures starting out in the 30s with partly sunny, in fact, almost entirely sunny skies. We warm up into the 50s with, aside from a stray shower, mostly dry conditions and mostly sunny skies. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Frank Mastrovito, owner of Mastrovito Chevrolet. We would like to thank Central New York for giving us the best customers, the best community, and the best team members here at Mastrovito. And thank you for your amazing support as we welcome Chevrolet to the family. Celebrate the Mastrovito May sales event by making your move into a 2026 Chevrolet Traverse. Mastrovito Chevrolet, your local family-owned and operated dealership on Commercial Drive in Yorkville, or online anytime at MastrovitoChevrolet.com. Make your move to Mastrovito Chevy today.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Thursday morning. Here's a look at your photo of the day today, which brings us to Little Falls, and a great shot here sent in by by Mark of Bartlett Pear Flowers. So I guess first time I've learned the exact name of these flowers. Obviously, I've seen them quite a bit across the area with some of the blooming taking place. And I love to see as many blooming photos as you have of trees, of flowers, bushes, you name it. It's only a very short window of time here locally. We get to see all those flowers peeking out. Either way, if you have a photo like this you'd like to send to us, go to wktv.com/weather/pics. And as always, this photo and every photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. So today, we start out a bit chilly. We got some sunshine on tap. Highs are climbing into the 50s. Now, we've got pretty consistent temperatures the next few days. Notice we have also some rain chances as well. Despite that, we have some new updates on the rainfall possibility as we head into the weekend and even early next week. We'll dive into those changes for you coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Ted Turner, an outspoken television pioneer who raced yachts, owned huge chunks of the American West, and transformed the news business by launching CNN in 1980, passed away yesterday at the age of 87. NBC's Jesse Kirsch reports on Turner's life and career.
Ted Turner, the man who would one day conquer television, started out in billboards, taking over the family business at 24 following his father's suicide. He quickly turned it into a multi-million-dollar business.
That was my father's advice to me, was do not set goals that are achievable during your lifetime. Set goals that are too high.
Next, he turned his attention to a struggling TV station in Atlanta. His bold idea used the new satellite technology to broadcast news and information content to local TV providers across the country.
This is TBS Newswatch.
It was the birth of cable television.
Superstation WTBS.
But even that wasn't enough for the ever-enterprising Turner, purchasing not just one, but two sports teams, and improbably leading the U.S. to victory at the 1977 America's Cup.
Driving, trip it, lower the pole.
But television seemed his true passion. In 1980, he launched CNN, the country's first 24-hour cable news network.
Good evening, I'm David Walker.
And I'm Lois Hart. Now here's the news.
Beaming round-the-clock news coverage to homes nationwide.
The skies over Baghdad.
And launching a new era in television. 1991, after 2 divorces and 5 children, Turner married Hollywood actress Jane Fonda. The power couple would divorce a decade later. Turner would eventually bow out of the business he helped build, selling Turner Broadcasting System to Time Warner in 1996 and eventually exiting the company altogether. He quickly found new passions, donating $1 billion to the United Nations to promote world peace.
I love this world of ours. It's a beautiful, wonderful place that deserves taking care of.
A dedicated environmentalist, he also bought up hundreds of thousands of acres in the West to protect from development, working to restore America's depleted bison population, the species rebounding enough to go back on the menu.
Stop by Ted's Montana Grill and have a bison burger with me.
Whether it was touting burgers or promoting his latest book, Turner was not just fabulously successful, he fancied himself as quintessentially American, bold and brash, a man who looked for new horizons to conquer, and did.
I think I've led an adventurous life, and that's really what I wanted to do.
Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
The time now 6:45. Here's a live look at a gorgeous downtown morning this morning in Utica. Eric will be in next with a look at his full storm tracker 2 forecast.
Why do history enthusiasts love newspapers.com? Because there's no better way to view history than through the news stories that brought the events to life as they happened. Search through millions of newspaper pages on our site for a unique perspective on history from the people who were there. Sign up for your 7-day free trial today and read all about the events that shaped our world.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
The time now is 6:48, and it is time to welcome the newest member of our Morning Mug Club. The Maynard Volunteer Fire Department is hosting a chicken barbecue and open house this Saturday. The event begins at noon at the fire department on Maynard Drive in Marcy. You can enjoy food, meet local firefighters, and tour the firehouse. The open house offers a chance to learn more about the department and its work in the community. The meal includes a half chicken, macaroni salad, baked beans, and applesauce. Cost is $15 and is takeout only. So head on over to the Maynard Volunteer Fire Department Chicken Barbecue this Saturday starting at noon. And if you would like to become a member of our Morning Mug Club to promote your local event, our contact information is right there on your screen. The Morning Mug Club is proudly brought to you each morning by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli in Yorkville.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody, on this Thursday. Unlike yesterday's widespread gloomy rain, today a much different story. We begin with plenty of sunshine. Here's a look outside right now in downtown Utica. Crystal clear blue skies and temperatures starting out in the 30s as the clouds have decreased compared to a few hours ago. So we start out a bit chilly. We climb into the mid 50s. Our normal high this time of year at 66. So yes, we are below average, but hey, at least the sun is shining today. Wind speeds a little blustery, 10 to 15 miles an hour. That feels like temperature a little bit on the cooler side. We're talking upper 40s to low 50s. But either way, as you see here, plenty of sunshine today. We've got the possibility of a brief light shower in the late morning and early afternoon as we have a rain out to our west that's going to approach. Again, it's going to fall apart for the most part. Then aside from that, we got plenty of sun in the evening and then clear skies initially overnight before clouds increase. And we have a few scattered showers to track for your Friday. Yes, potentially some mixing in those highest elevations in the southern valleys, but that's about it. We see some sunshine early Friday and then a few clouds, a couple stray rain showers here and there. Basically a mix of sun, clouds, and rain. Then as we head closer to the evening, southern valleys really the highest chance of seeing a couple showers. Mohawk Valley a bit more dry, North Country completely dry. Frost potential as we head into the overnight hours and early Saturday. Now this is the latest trend in the rainfall conditions for Saturday. We mentioned yesterday and the day before there's a possibility of widespread rain Saturday. Now this is the latest trend in that rain. Clouds increase around noontime. Rainfall basically in the Otsego County area. That's about it. For a lot of the rest of central New York, it's looking almost entirely dry. So the latest trends are pushing it more and more east. So by 6 p.m., and we got some sunshine and we're pushing near 60. So compared to what it looked like a few days ago, this is certainly an outcome we support. I'm sure a lot of you would support that, having some more dry weather for Mother's Day weekend. Sunday, by the way, starts out dry early. We have a couple stray showers in the morning, and then we'll have some dry weather in the afternoon. So frost risk tonight, basically isolated into those higher elevations north. More scattered opportunities for frost as we head into Saturday morning. But nonetheless, over the next few days, winds pretty persistent. That's just the main big story aside from those on and off rain chances. So again, as you look at our 7-day forecast, we've got potential of a couple stray showers Friday, Saturday, mainly in Otsego County. Sunday, rain showers early, drying up. Overall, though, temperatures hovering in the upper 50s for much of the early part of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. July 4th is now less than 2 months away, and celebrations are planned all over the country. It's called America 250 and may be the perfect time to visit some of the most significant Revolutionary War battlefields. Reporter Jen Sullivan has some tips on where to visit and what you can see.
As we celebrate 250 years of independence, there are many historical battlefields where you can experience the fight for freedom firsthand. And Amtrak has an entire website dedicated to Northeast travel for this summer's happenings, including America 250 events. Our first stop, Lexington Battle Green in Massachusetts, located about 20 miles northwest of Boston, accessible by car or public transport. The battles of Lexington and Concord are known for the shot heard around the world, the start of the American Revolution in April 1775. Next stop, New York.
New York is the central battleground for the entire war.
Aaron Noble with the New York State Museum says one of the most significant sites you can visit is the battles of Saratoga. It's one of the first major victories against the British in October of 1777.
It is the battle that convinces France and Spain as well that the Americans might actually be able to win this conflict against the British.
You can walk the battlefields, see interactive exhibits, and tour the Nielsen House, which served as a headquarters for American officers. Best places to stay are in nearby Stillwater or Saratoga Springs. Next, we head south to Virginia's Colonial National Historical Park, the site of the Battle of Yorktown, where the British finally surrendered in October of 1781.
We want you to get out, walk along the American and French trenches, walk through the British fortifications, and put yourself in the boots of the soldiers who served here.
Lauren Kaprinsky says you can drive the 16-mile route along the battlefield while listening to a free guided app on your phone. There's also guided tours.
I would recommend folks come here and experience the entire historic triangle: Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown.
All three battle sites have special celebrations, including reenactments to commemorate America 250. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Why do history enthusiasts love newspapers.com? Because there's no better way to view history than through the news stories that brought the events to life as they happened. Search through millions of newspaper pages on our site for a unique perspective on history from the people who were there. Sign up for your 7-day free trial today and read all about the events that shaped our world.
Here's a live look inside Studio 1A at Rockefeller Center. Coming up on today, severe weather overnight, parts of the South ravaged by tornadoes. Today we'll be live with the latest, and Dylan's tracking some threats of even more intense storms in parts of the country. Plus, celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week with a very special Today First, hosting an entire kindergarten class live on the plaza. Eric, how exciting must that be for those kids?
That must be so cool.
Yeah.
I'd be so excited. And of course, they got a great day for it down in the city. In fact, here locally, same story. It's pretty dry out there today. We've got some sunshine, a bit chilly to start, but by the afternoon, we are in the 50s, a bit of a blustery afternoon. Tomorrow, a couple scattered rain showers, rain mainly east Saturday, and then hopefully we do dry up in time for so many events on Sunday. Either way, a couple rain chances, but not too bad the next few days.
The Today Show coming up after this, but for more local coverage, join us today at noon.
Also, have a great rest of your Thursday.
Wow.